Every year we ask ourselves the same question. Will real-time strategy finally get its deserved comeback? Some recent games tried to bring the genre to its former glory, but they flew too close to the sun and did not understand what enthusiasts really desire. This year's release calendar is packed with amazing and interesting games ranging from aspiring indie titles to long-awaited sequels of beloved franchises. I have curated a list of the most interesting RTS games. Whether you want engaging campaigns, large battles, or competitive matches, these are the games that will try to relive the greatness of the genre. Thus, Front RTS offers a nostalgic return to classic real-time strategy gameplay. The game's visuals and mechanics are similar to Command & Conquer, enhanced by a gritty, pixelated CRT-distorted aesthetic that amplifies its retro appeal. Notably, Dustfront integrates a procedurally generated large-scale map with elements of grand strategy, promising a dynamic campaign experience. Players are facing 3 enemy factions, each equipped with devastating superweapons capable of obliterating entire cities, ensuring a constant struggle against overwhelming odds. The fusion of RTS and grand strategy elements, where large-scale map events directly influence the battle's outcome, is a compelling proposition. Dustfront holds significant potential to make a substantial impact on the strategy genre and warrants a place on your wishlist. Zero Space takes a unique approach to combine RTS and grand strategy elements. Unlike procedurally generated maps, Zero Space features a player-driven, dynamically evolving galactic map. Players align with factions engaging in large-scale warfare, where the map state mirrors the ever-shifting territorial control seen in titles like PlanetSide 2 or Helldivers 2 to an extent. In this persistent conflict, players contribute to their faction's dominance through single-player, co-op, PvE or PvP scenarios, expanding their influence across the galaxy. On the battlefield, the game's mechanics bear a clear resemblance to StarCraft, but Zero Space distinguishes itself with 4 factions, 6 mercenaries and 14 heroes. The question remains: can Zero Space ascend as the true successor to StarCraft? A feat that Stormgate aspired but could never achieve? There will be a playtest during the Steam PvP Fest from February 9th to 16th with a focus on the Versus mode, featuring a tournament and prizes. Continuing the trend of games seeking to fill the void left by Command & Conquer, D.O.R.F. Real-Time Strategic Conflict emerges as another contender. This ambitious project, developed by a trio of part-time developers utilizing their personal savings, aims to deliver a classic 2D RTS experience. The game will feature tactical combat across land, air and sea, with players constructing colossal sci-fi units such as a bombing Zeppelin, multi-turret tanks or imposing artillery. But there's an interesting twist. In a recent video, the developers showcased the resource management, which is far more complex than most RTS games. With different resources and assembly lines shown, we might have a lot of base management in this promising RTS title. While a release is anticipated in 2026, the game's part-time development will require patience. The potential for success is significant, and the project's dedication is commendable. Innovation in RTS games often starts with a bold setting, and Vial of Ashes might have the most striking aesthetic of the year. It captures a haunting trench warfare meets industrial nightmare vibe that feels genuinely fresh in a market crowded with generic sci-fi. But it's not just about the visuals. The developers are promising a deep, punishing tactical loop focused on challenging, competitive battles that reward top-notch tactics. We are looking at chaotic 8-player mayhem and highly interactive environments that actually crumble and deform under the weight of your heavy artillery. With 3 distinct factions and a massive unit variety to master, the potential for success is huge. If the tactical depth can truly match that incredible dark art style, this could be the competitive RTS experience we've been craving for years. When you think of grand strategy games like Hearts of Iron or Europa Universalis, what's the one missing piece? Exactly, RTS combat. Systemic War attempts to bridge that gap, fusing the high-level complexity of global politics, massive research trees, and deep political maneuvering with the intense tactical ground combat found in titles like Broken Arrow or Company of Heroes. It is an incredibly ambitious undertaking, perhaps one of the most daring we have seen in years. However, from an analytical perspective, such a broad scope carries significant risk. By trying to master every system simultaneously, a project can easily spread itself too thin and lose its focus. While I worry the execution might struggle to balance these two massive genres, I genuinely hope to be proven wrong. The game looks stunning, and if they can actually stick the landing, it could revolutionize how we play grand strategy forever. We've all been there. Midway through a match of Age of Empires, staring at the line of knights and thinking, this is fine, but it would be indefinitely better if that horse was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Well, it seems the developers of Dinolords were reading our collective minds. This title attempts a bold genre collision, fusing classic medieval city building and RTS mechanics with, you guessed it, prehistoric apex predators and a dash of third-person RPG combat for good measure. From an analytical standpoint, it's a bizarrely specific niche that I didn't realize I was starving for until it was served to me on a silver plate. Of course, any game attempting to be a city builder /RTS/RPG risks becoming a jack of all trades and a master of none. But honestly, even if the mechanical balance is a bit chaotic, the sheer novelty of the medieval trebuchet being outclassed by a literal dinosaur is worth our attention. For my part, I am ready to embrace the Jurassic medieval age. Calyx takes the RTS genre to uncharted territory, pitting players against an ever-growing alien organism rather than a conventional enemy army. Players defend their space mining outpost from a planet-like parasite that threatens to consume the planet. Establishing a power grid, fortifying defenses with towers, and strategically deploying troops are crucial to survival. It's a delicate balance between defense and offense, coupled with precise timing. Calyx offers a unique concept, clean visuals, in-depth base building, and intriguing units. Having played the free demo that is available myself, I have to say that I commend them for trying something new. Something that more resembles They Are Billions or Age of Darkness Final Stand, while still trying to stay true to its RTS roots. No, you're not looking at the remaster of Sudden Strike from the year 2000. This is Panzer Strike. With such an uncanny resemblance in both name and aesthetic, it is impossible to ignore the clear lineage of inspiration here. The developers are promising a return to authentic, large-scale RTS gameplay that mirrors the classics we loved 25 years ago, notably without base building in favor of pure tactical warfare. We're looking at World War II combat on an epic scale, defined by long-range artillery and overwhelming armored divisions. However, since this is a debut title for an unknown developer and detailed information regarding the campaign or deeper mechanics remains scarce, we have to approach with a degree of analytical caution. Can they truly capture that lightning in a bottle? The footage certainly speaks for itself. If you're a fan of traditional wargames, the nostalgic appeal alone makes this impossible to overlook. It's a calculated gamble on old-school grit that I'm genuinely eager to see play out. Sanctuary: Shattered Sun presents real-time strategy on an epic scale, just like Total Annihilation or Supreme Commander. This RTS features classic base building, vast armies to command, colossal titans, and dynamic terrain manipulation. Players can literally fracture the earth beneath their enemies or manipulate the weather, for example flash freeze oceans to create makeshift land bridges for their armored divisions. The battleground is a Dyson Sphere, a massive, man-made structure designed to harness the sun's energy, a concept that has captivated brilliant minds for decades. As demonstrated in the gameplay trailer, the zoom extends to an impressive distance, reducing units to mere colored dots on the map. With a notable lack of large-scale RTS titles in recent years, this game fills a significant void. Its innovative, ever-changing terrain, coupled with weather control and 3 distinct factions, offer a compelling strategic experience that feels both nostalgic and forward-thinking. Set in war-torn Europe, Global Conflagration is a classic RTS built with modern military hardware. Featuring 3 distinct factions, this title aims to recapture the frantic base-building essence of Command & Conquer, specifically drawing heavy inspiration from CNC generals. The game promises a return to tactical measures, including airstrikes, carpet bombing, and power troopers. As someone who considers generals their all-time favorite of the genre, I find this particular iteration of the CNC formula highly anticipated. While detailed information on the full campaign remains light, the game's representation and commitment speaks volumes, earning it a priority spot on my wishlist. Development has faced some hurdles, but the team recently confirmed they are aiming for a 2026 release, making it a key title to watch for anyone missing that classic Westwood-style spark. As the fleet commander of humanity's remnants, the responsibility of securing their future falls upon your shoulders in fragile existence. Players navigate an ever-changing galaxy, confronting unknown horrors emerging from newly discovered star systems. In a non-linear campaign, players must secure resources and combat growing enemy forces, traversing systems via breaches rather than conventional travel at the speed of light. Each planet represents a unique blend of risk-reward, with ground expeditions offering classic RTS elements such as base building, resource gathering, and exploration. The constant threat posed by well-equipped enemies underscores the chances of humanity's survival. Since the final season of Game of Thrones left many of us unsatisfied, to put it mildly, and the completion of the novels remain a distant hope, it is refreshing to see a legitimate adaptation that isn't a mobile cash grab or a hollow asset flip. Game of Thrones: War for Westeros is a classic real-time strategy title coming from PlaySide Studios, the capable developers behind Age of Darkness' Final Stand. This pedigree alone suggests a focus on polished mechanics and quality gameplay. The developers are promising an expansive campaign where you can conquer the Seven Kingdoms under the banner of House Lannister, Stark, or Targaryen, with the intriguing option to side with the Night King himself. While concrete details are still emerging, the project's scope implies a sophisticated blend of RTS combat and 4X grand strategy elements. Though the setting might not appeal to every strategy fan, the prospect of a high production value RTS set in the Song of Ice and Fire universe is a rare occurrence that certainly warrants our attention. From the sharpening of wooden spears to the screaming of fighter jets, human evolution has rarely looked this compelling in a strategy format. In Empire Eternal, players don't just witness history, they shape it. This ambitious title, seeking to be the spiritual successor to Empire Earth, grants you complete tactical control over land, sea, and air, tasking you with building civilizations across an unprecedented 20 distinct eras. Each epoch doesn't just change the skin of your units, it introduces unique RTS mechanics that force you to rethink your entire strategy. Beyond the standard loop of resource gathering and base construction, the game adds layers of mechanical depth rarely seen in this genre, such as dynamic wall climbing and manual shipboarding during naval skirmishes. While the concept of evolving through the ages isn't entirely new, the sheer level of ambition here, specifically how the developers are attempting to balance 20 eras of technological disparity, warrants a closer look. Whether in the single-player campaign or competitive multiplayer, Empire Eternal is a massive bet on everything everywhere all at once style of strategy that fans of Empire Earth have been mourning for decades. A full decade after the original's debut, we are finally witnessing the return of a titan with Ashes of the Singularity II. This sequel promises to push the boundaries of large-scale warfare, tasking players with the strategic conquest of entire worlds rather than mere outposts. Featuring a sprawling campaign centered on a near-future narrative of human survival and planetary restoration, the title appears to be a comprehensive package for the modern strategy enthusiast. The introduction of 3 truly asymmetrical factions, coupled with a scale of conflict that rivals even Supreme Commander, suggests a significant evolution from the first title. We have spent years craving that specific over-the-top tactical itch that only massive unit counts can scratch. Seeing a franchise once presumed dormant receive a well-deserved, modernized sequel is a testament to the genre's resurgence. It is an exciting prospect to finally experience an evolved version of the massive-scale warfare that defined our favorite strategy memories. Last year brought a tidal wave of announcements for strategy fans. The Warhammer 40k universe is not only joining the Total War pantheon, but it is finally receiving a true 4th installment in the Dawn of War series. Interestingly, development has shifted from Relic to King Art Games, the studio behind the well-received Iron Harvest. This change in leadership feels like a deliberate course correction following the divisive reception of Dawn of War 3, signaling a return to the gritty, tactical roots the fanbase is craving for. Staying true to the grim darkness of the far future, Dawn of War 4 emphasizes battlefield dominance over turtling, utilizing a resource system that rewards aggressive territory control. The launch will feature 4 factions, including the debut of the Adeptus Mechanicus in a major RTS format. The scope is genuinely impressive. 4 distinct cinematic campaigns, competitive ranked play, and the highly anticipated return of The Last Stand, the iconic co-op survival mode from the second game. The success of the recent Dawn of War remaster proved that the appetite for this franchise has never faded. It simply required the right team with the ambition to honor its legacy. Slated for a 2026 release, this is undoubtedly my most anticipated title of the year. A potential masterpiece that could finally restore the crown to one of the genre's most beloved names. And that has been it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Did I miss anything? Feel free to let me know. Maybe you have some unknown titles that warrant our attention. I would love to hear about them. If you're struggling with your gaming backlog and if you're constantly sitting in front of your library not knowing what to play, it might not be your fault. It might just be how our brains work. If that sounds familiar, you might want to watch this next video, as I did the research and will help you understand why you are struggling and give you some strategies how to combat it. I have been the Indie Crawler, and I wish you a nice day.